Hey guys, it's Cayley. I am back with another thrift haul. I have a really good selection of stuff for you today. I've got stuff from wholesalers, I have stuff that we got from the bins, and I have stuff from regular thrift stores. So let's dive in real quick. I'm going to show you snippets of each thing, and then we'll actually hop back to this one as well. Because half of this rack I've already showed you in a thrift with me. I'm starting to get all of my days mixed up because we're filming so much stuff. So we got inventory coming in from lots of places. And I want to make sure to only show you guys the fresh stuff that you haven't seen already. So this first one right here is going to be from one of my favorite wholesalers. This wholesaler in particular, we have wholesalers that kind of focus on some different things. This wholesaler in particular really knows her stuff about sell-through rate, and she just all in all knows a lot about what it is that we are looking for. So let me show you some of the stuff that we're getting through wholesale. I typically get smaller batches from this wholesaler, but the stuff's always really, really good. I'm not sure if this came from her or if we just added it on the end here, but I'll show you this nonetheless. This is so good. This is a vintage Christian Dior lacy kind of lingerie type top. People are wearing stuff like this either by themselves or layered over top of other things. And so little lingerie pieces, especially in vintage designer brands, are performing extremely well right now. So I'm finding myself going to the intimate section and spending a little bit more time there, not just like in pajamas and bras, but also some of the lingerie pieces. Because like I said, a lot of people are pairing this in a regular outfit. And this is just a plus that it is also Christian Dior. So I have no idea how much this is selling for because I didn't do the comp on this one. I think Nikki did, but man, I'm guessing probably towards 100, not quite 100, but probably towards it. All right, this is another item we got through that wholesaler. This is Nuvatag's Norma Kamali. If you guys aren't familiar with Norma Kamali, they make a lot of, I like to call them like interchangeable capsule wardrobe pieces. They're usually black, but she does make some other stuff. Very simple pieces that can be exchanged, like a capsule minimalist wardrobe. And also they tend to have kind of like an officey feel, but are comfortable. This is a size extra large, and it's new with tags as well, which is going to help to increase both value and sell-through rate. These are a pair of, I think, ankle cropped pair of pants. Again, not sure on pricing on that. I'm going to guess around 40-ish. Also a great category. This is what I'm saying. This wholesaler's good. Not only sell-through rate, brand, but also style-wise. This is a very popular aesthetic right now, which is tennis core, which this is a little skirt, so shorts underneath. Plus, this is also in a very trendy brand for this type of item, which is Lululemon. I'm picking up hardly any Lululemon anymore, but this is a category I still get, these little squirts. Plus, this one also has the RIP label also, and it is a great size in a size 12. So what more could you ask for out of a piece like this? I'm sure there is a specific style name for this, and that's going to determine the price. All right, next up we have a men's piece. This is my favorite. One of my favorites, top 5 in the men's category. But it's kind of one of my, might be my actual favorite because I don't find it myself as often as I would like. So I always get really excited when I do. And it's very overlooked. It is called Public Rec. And I usually notice because of the P here or the P on the back. So this is a very high sell-through rate brand. And it's often overlooked because normally there's no brand label. You're only going to see the size tag here. But with a lot of these higher end, like athletic-y feel men's pieces, usually if you check the inside of the front, near the front pocket, you'll see the tag, which is the case with this one here. Again, super simple tag here. This is, again, Public Rec. And there's different styles of their pants. So again, style is going to determine how much we're actually going to sell these for, but great sell-through rate in general on men's Public Rec stuff, and the pants especially. All right, another excellent brand to find, very high sell-through rate, is Vuori. And this one can also be often overlooked because similar to Lululemon, the rip tag gets ripped off quite often. This one actually has the rip tag. So really great quality piece. But sometimes it won't be there and you'll have to look for indicators like a little Vuori label here, a little logo, or this is the way I normally find Vuori is I notice the drawstrings. They all tend to have the same um, pattern and shape to them. So I just kind of pick up on those things over time. These are a pair of men's shorts. They might be board shorts, I'm not sure. Again, there's a very particular style that we looked up and determined to get these, but Vuori as a whole is very, very good. Also, another brand I like to get is Patagonia. Patagonia for me has become more bread and butter. It's very dependent on the exact piece that you get. Very similar to Lululemon. You used to be able to pick it up in just about anything. Now you got to be kind of cautious on what you get, really drill down in your search results. That's a mistake I see a lot of resellers making, including, myself and my employees here, is knowing how to manipulate the comps to get clean data. This one is a size large, and it is a pair of nice shorts. I don't think these are the baggies, but they might be. But there are some Patagonia shorts that perform really, really well. Okay, next up, this is a very artsy brand. I typically only get it in plus size. However, recently we've been experimenting with size large and extra large. And if you price it correctly, can still move. This is an Ally Miles size extra large. This also feels like linen. It is an oversized top, so lots of factor stacking here. But it's important to know, I guess, what the threshold is for sizing. And then if you go below that threshold, what other factors are going to pull and elevate that listing and sell-through rate. And so things like a larger size, being oversized, and made out of linen are definitely going to help. All right, this next one was a top seller in my men's department over the last 2 years, actually. I actually mentioned it on a video some point last summer, which was men's blazers selling really well for me. I feel like I finally got them figured out, but especially ones like this one right here, linen blazers. And you can pick up men's linen blazers and pants in brands that you normally wouldn't get just because they're linen and in the right season, and usually the sell-through rate goes up. I think last year I searched men's linen blazer, went to pre-owned on eBay, and then went to sold, and without even putting a brand, size, or anything, color, none of it, had over a 100% on eBay for just the category alone. So I guarantee this is going to happen again this year. I'm already kind of tracking comps for this, which is really important to do. If something you have sells the same every single year, just make sure you kind of watch and make sure it starts trending up as you move towards the warmer weather, because there are a lot of things that I was selling for years that no longer have good sell-through rates. And so just because it sold last year does not mean it's going to sell this year, but you can kind of know by watching if it's trending upwards in sell-through rate, and men's linen blazers definitely are. This would be an example of a brand I don't normally get, but because it is a men's linen blazer, performs well. This is Stafford. This was a bolo last year for me. Stafford men's linen blazers. People were looking for these. They were sold out everywhere. And if you guys remember, Joe and I got married on the beach last year, and we were looking for linen suits, so blazers and pants, and it was a nightmare to find in stores. It was a nightmare to find online, and it's because they sell out so quickly. So heed my warning if you find any men's linen blazer, especially a modern one like this, and obviously this is new with tags, which is amazing, but can elevate just about any brand, being a men's linen blazer and pants. All right, next up, another great piece. This is also Patagonia. This is a women's size large, so size is important, plus the fact that it is new with tags dress. This is called the Squash Blossom dress in a very particular print. Really nice piece. I always look up like athletic or outdoorsy looking dresses, even if it's a brand that I wouldn't normally get, such as I'm thinking like Eddie Bauer, L.O. Bean, Columbia. Sometimes, depending on print, size, style, length, can actually be 100% sell-through rates. So I always am doing my comps and stuff like this in the outdoorsy slash sporty looking dresses. All right, this is another one I've been super particular with. It is St. John. This one did end up having a little bit of fading on the edges here where it's folded, but St. John is a brand I typically don't get anymore. I actually come across it really often, especially the newer label, but every time I've attempted to sell it, it has sat and sat and sat. I'm going to try some different keywords and see if I can, make a difference on sell-through rate with the newer pieces, but so far I've not had much luck, even though it retails for a ton. So I'll let you guys know how that experiment goes. But what I do still have luck with is the vintage St. John with the Santana knit. So this is a gorgeous Santana knit blazer, nice pink color, and that's pretty much the only thing I'm like, yes, absolutely, I'm picking up in St. John still. This is also a really great size in a size 14. Usually I can sell those blazers for $40 and up. If it's a really particular like print, pattern, color, size, it could go for over $100. We recently sold one with an equestrian print for, I think it was $125. So again, it just really depends. I feel like that one's going to perform even better because it's pink and it's a larger size. All right, I have some plus size pieces for you. This is a Calvin Klein plus size piece, button down top, animal print, not much to say here. Calvin Klein officey tops like this and plus sizes perform well for me. That should sell $25 to $30. Here's another outdoorsy kind of dress. I love this brand. This brand sells so quickly for us in just about everything. It is packed organic cotton, and people are also really loving sustainable materials. So keep your eye out for that and sustainable brands. This is a longer length, packed, beautiful purple, also a trending color dress in a size large. So great factor stacking all in one piece and in excellent condition. All right, another great high sell-through rate brand to look for, Frank and Eileen. This is another one you want to be careful with because if you don't figure out the exact style, you could be missing out on quite a bit of money because they are so plain. So if you just look up like Frank and Eileen button-up shirts, you're going to see wildly different comps. Really want to narrow it down to what it is you're looking for plus the size. So they usually have the style name right here. This one is called Frank. And just so you know, Frank and Eileen styles don't follow the normal like gender style names. So like usually a company will have a feminine style name for the women's clothing, and that's how you can kind of tell if it's women's or men's. That is not true for Frank and Eileen. So some of the women's pieces have male names. So you definitely want to keep your eye out for that. And they also don't always follow the button rule. I'm actually not sure. I think that this one is women's based on the silhouette. But what I'm trying to say is they don't follow the conventional rules for style name or for buttons. So just make sure you look up the exact style so that you know. Here is another packed organic piece. Beautiful cardigan. This one's a size large, extra large. So again, great size. The packed cardigans also perform very, very well. And this is a beautiful neutral capsule wardrobe piece. All right, this is a Ralph Lauren dress, longer length, nice size. Does look like we have a slight mark on the back, so I'll keep that in mind with pricing. And it is a wrap dress. So again, lots of things factor stacked on top of each other. This is a brand I feel like I can confidently do that with just because it does retail for quite a bit. And then last one on this rack, and then I'm going to take you guys back here to this rack, is a Title IX dress. I have very good luck with Title IX in the women's department in just about anything. I'm going to keep an eye on, obviously making sure I do my comps, but generally speaking, it is a good brand. This is a very nice athletic field dress with a built-in bra, longer length, ombre effect, again with that very trendy purple, and it is a size large. It really depends on the style, but typically I can sell Title IX, especially larger size and longer length dresses, for usually around 35 and up, sometimes closer to 60 depending on what it is. All right, so I've taken you guys over here now. Hopefully, you'll stop shaking on the stool. So, moving you guys from that route, because again, I've shown you a lot of those pieces on the other half of that one. And let's move you guys on to some more items. So, we just showed you wholesale. I'm going to show you a couple more wholesale pieces, some stuff that we thrifted from the bins. And also, I forgot to mention this, I've recently been doing some sourcing on Whatnot. So I had a lot of credits from where you guys use my code. So I can put it down in the description if you want. But when somebody signs up for Whatnot for the first time as a buyer, completely free account, if they use my code, they get $15 off of their first purchase. So a lot of people use that code, right? Because they want to get like a bundle of items for free for their first purchase. So it's a great incentive. But every time that somebody would sign up with that, I would also get Whatnot credits that I could only use on Whatnot. So those had built up over time and I kind of forgot I had them. And I was like, you know what? This would be a great time to try sourcing on Whatnot. Let me see what kinds of items I can get. Let me see it from the buyer perspective and let me see how I can bundle and make this price effective for myself. A lot of things I got priced out of. But have a handful of pieces here that you guys can see that I actually got decent prices on. So I'll show you guys these here in just a second. But first up, let me show you a few things from wholesalers and from the bins in no particular order. This is a quince. We did have to wash this one. It had some spots. Looks like we might have gotten them all out. But Quince is another one very similar to Pact that has a really great sell-through rate. It's known for being a sustainable brand. Both of those brands keep showing up on the Poshmark top brands report. So they are ones to look out for. This is a sweater blazer. I'm hoping it's not shrunken and that these are meant to be 3/4 sleeves, but great piece regardless. Next up, these are three of the same things. These are all Lululemon. I'll go through them pretty quickly. So as I mentioned before, Lululemon I've got to be super duper picky with just because a lot of it's oversaturated. So I'm looking up all of the same styles, really keeping pricing and size in mind. This is still something we get very regularly, and it is the Dance Studio pants. So this is one to keep your eye out for. Whenever they look like pants and they don't look like leggings, that should be an indicator I should Google Lens and look up the style. So this is a very, very popular style in Lululemon still. Got another one of those. And another one of those. And again, let me get you up close a little bit. They often have this striping look to them also. All right, now into some of the Whatnot pieces that I got. And then I'll show you some stuff we got from bins and wholesalers again. So this, for the next batch, is all Whatnot stuff. This is an Elaine Fisher, one of my favorite brands to find. It is a size extra large. Really nice, oversized, slouchy linen top. Elaine Fisher in linen always performs well for me. Plus, this one has the additional detail of that kind of asymmetrical pocket. I got a Neiman Marcus cashmere cardigan. This has been like a solid seller for me, like secretly for a while. For some reason, Neiman Marcus cashmere always flies out of my store. We are coming out of cashmere season. However, this was such a great piece, high quality, longer length cardigan. Kind of wanted to keep it for myself, but I just know I would snag it immediately. So grab this. These two are not Whatnot, so let me skip those for right now. I found a Barefoot Dreams plus size on Whatnot. This is another one that performs well in plus size is Barefoot Dreams, and this one is a really long length cardigan. I also got a Rag & Bone. This is not a brand I would get in everything, but certain pieces. Make sure to do your comps. I think it's a men's graphic sweatshirt. I got a swimwear brand that is really good. Somersault. Larger size 14. One piece, which is going to elevate value, and it's new with tags. Yay. Don't know how much I'm going to list this for, but This brand sells really well and it goes for quite high prices, especially new. Also got this Robert Graham men's shirt with the flip cuff. This is a brand a lot of people don't know about. It doesn't sell for a lot, but it has a good sell-through rate. It's really hard to comp as well. It is Cuts clothing. They remind me of Built a lot. They feel like Lululemon. Probably only like $20 for that, but again, good sell-through rate. I got 2 of these flax linen jackets. This is one of my favorite brands to sell in spring and summer. Flax is a really good brand for us overall. Here's the same jacket in a different color. I got a SheFit bra. This can be a great brand to look for in bras, but typically it's only the sports bras. So this is one of those pieces, and it's a larger size too. Let's see here. I got this Brooks Brothers men's merino wool cardigan. Really, really nice piece. I got this Sundance larger size top with lots of beautiful details, flare sleeves. Sundance is one I'm super picky with also, but I feel like the larger size and the style of that was good. I also got APC. This is a higher end brand pair of jeans. The main reason I got it was because they were selvage. That's going to significantly increase the value. I also got Diesel men's jeans. Diesel men's jeans have a really good sell-through rate, and depending on the exact style, size, and all of that you get, can perform better or worse, but in general, if you get a decent price for them, men's Diesel jeans perform really, really well. This one's kind of more bread and butter, and I did notice it has an issue with stitching on the back, so we're going to drop the price because of that, but they're just a pair of Abercrombie & Fitch men's Y2K chino shorts. So I'll probably flip those for $20 to $25 just because of the stitching issue. I don't know if you guys can hear that rain, but it was like, it's downpouring right now. It's kind of loud here, but hopefully you guys can't hear it. And then lastly, I also got these on Whatnot. They are a pair of men's Vuori larger size ripstop. I think these might be called the climber pants, but I'm not 100% certain. But again, Vuori being a really great brand to find. Ooh, and they're falling off the hanger. All right, lastly, let me show you guys some of the stuff we've been picking up from bins and places like that. Some of this is actually kind of new to me, so we'll be experiencing it together. And I'll try to go quick because I can see we are having a longer thrift haul today. All right, this is a beautiful Whimsy Goth style dress, older label. I'm going to use keyword Y2K and Whimsy Goth with this one. It has like a sheer velvet burnout. Great silhouette on this one, great print, and it also has some sparkle details, and it is longer length. We're probably going to price this one pretty high because it has a lot of really great stuff going for it. All right, next up, this is a soft surroundings plus size dress. I like getting soft surroundings, A, in dresses if they're longer length, and B, in plus sizes. This one is a shorter length dress, but it is plus size. It's a great piece with some asymmetric details. We also have Susan Graver plus size. This one's more plain, but it is a 3X, so that elevates the value for me. Probably $25 on that. This is another great plus size brand to get. It is Jess and Jane. Similarly to, what brand was it I just showed you? Oh, Ally Miles. This is very similar to Ally Miles. It's very artsy, very login look. But we normally only pick it up in the plus sizes, but I've been experimenting with extra large. I just have to price it lower. But this one we can price a little bit higher because it is plus size. Super artsy tunic top, great piece. This is a style-based piece. This is just by Dress Barn, size large. Very nice feminine silhouette. We'll use Y2K with this one. This has some really cool floral prints also. I don't think it's silk. No, it's not silk. Here is another beautiful skirt. This one is also Y2K. This one is silk, and it is by Donna Karan, New York, DKNY. Older label. Beautiful silhouette on this. This one is a little bit of a shorter length, kind of knee length, but the colorway and the shape of this is really beautiful, especially kind of like that tattered look at the bottom, and it's silk, so that's going to elevate value a ton. I'm going to use the keyword fairy on that one. All right, this is a new brand to me. It'll probably be a new brand to you, and I'm actually not sure about this, but it must have had a great sell-through rate. Rascal size large leggings. I don't know much about this brand. It has some cool pocket, or not pocket, emblem details here. Almost looks like an apple, maybe. I don't know. Look those up. Let me know what you guys find in the comments below. I'm going to look it up after I finish filming this thrift haul. All right, here's another gorgeous skirt. Is this my size? Ooh. I might be keeping this one. I'm not going to lie. Oh, no, it has beading. I'm not going to keep it. If it didn't have beading, I'd probably keep it. But like I said, I break stuff. This is an older label. Brand doesn't matter. Longer length skirt. Beautiful silhouettes on this. And like I said, it does have beading also, which is going to help to elevate value. It also looks like fruit, like grapes or something. It's got a lot going for it, but a very pretty piece. All right. We also have a more modern label, Abercrombie and Fitch, larger size skirt. This one is a tiered maxi length skirt, which is pretty good factor stacking combination. And it has some eyelet details down here. See, very like dark cottage core with this one. And you might not be able to tell, but it has a sheer panel, which is going to help to increase style and value as well. All right, let's keep going because I'm worried the electricity might go out. It's raining so hard right now. We've had so many storms here. Let me know if you guys have been experiencing it too. Okay, this is a beautiful Reformation. I get like every Reformation piece I see, but especially at the bins, right? This is a beautiful Reformation dress. Nice silhouette, linen, also a larger size, all the great things. We always say yes to Reformation dresses. Okay, what do we have here? Ooh, we have a no label, but here again is Vuori. So this is the only indication that it's Vuori, besides the way that it feels, which takes a while to kind of get the hang of, but looking for small indicators, small labels. This is a men's sweatshirt. We have a super Y2K graphic fitted V-neck. That'll be a nice bread and butter. All right, we have a Patagonia outerwear jacket. Now this does have company branding on it, so for that reason, we're going to price it lower. But we still get them at the bins, especially knowing that we can price a little bit lower and move it. But Patagonia outerwear specifically, especially in the men's department, is always a yes. Here is another Y2K item. This is an Old Navy Y2K lacy fitted longer length deep V tank top. That is another good one. All right, and it looks like we have some Y2K hoodies. This is a super thick American Eagle older label pullover hoodie. We're going to keyword this up a ton, especially with Y2K keywords. That should perform well. Have some really good luck with the Y2K hoodies. Here is another one. This is Old Navy. It is men's, super thick, Y2K, and this part right here, the fur-lined hood, is really going to increase value. Again, we're going to keyword that up really well with the Y2K stuff. All right, looks like we have some more Lululemon. There it is. Camo leggings. We're not going to say no to Lululemon leggings at the bins. Camo, smaller size. Another pair of Vuori pants. Let's see if this has the rip tag. Oh, this one does. Pair of joggers. And here is that little label. See the drawstrings again? Don't they look the exact same as the other ones I just showed you guys? I don't know if these are men's or women's. They look like they might be men's, which is going to help to sell for more. And lastly, I'll finish up with this because I think the end of that is stuff I've shown you in a thrift with me as well. Another pair of Lululemon leggings from the bins. All right, guys, it is downpouring. So I'm about to get off of here, but I bet you guys enjoyed this thrift haul. Like I said, we went through wholesaler stuff. We went through stuff that we sourced ourselves. We went through Whatnot purchases, sourcing on Whatnot. I'm hoping I can get that down a little bit more because it's a great small edition. If you can find the right show at the right prices and bundle them up, that's when you can actually source from Whatnot. So I'm hoping I can like learn some secrets and incorporate that. If you have any suggestions for me and you're currently doing that and you feel generous, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them and try them out for myself. But yeah, I feel pretty confident with everything I've gotten on Whatnot so far. And yeah, I look forward to bringing you guys more thrift hauls. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!